Hey there, welcome back. Friends, in our last video, we have tried to implement the user logout mechanism, right? And if we check our application, our login page submits to the site controller servlet. And if we check the servlet, inside the servlet, we are setting a session by taking help of this get session method, which is cool, but we are also dependent on a cookie. Now, making use of cookie is cool. Making use of a username is again okay, but friends, cookie needs to be used for giving the user a personalized user experience. Cookie needs to be used to save the user preferences, but cookie should not be used in order to implement the login and logout mechanism. Now this mistake is a common mistake. This is the reason why we have explained that how it can be done, and today we will try to understand why it is wrong and how we can implement a user management using set session attribute. Alright, now friends, moving forward, in here we will make use of a session attribute rather a cookie, and moreover we will simplify our logic as well, and you will be able to see how simplified things will become when we make use of session attribute. And there is a association as well. The session ID is associated with the attribute, so whenever we invalidate the session, again our logout mechanism would be done very easily. So in here, first of all, let us get rid of this, and in here we will type in new session dot set attribute. Name of the attribute would be username, and value would be the value which we received from the form, so it would be like username. Alright friends, now let us check the member area.jsp file. Now if we check this file, previously we were making use of cookie, so definitely we are handling the cookie. Now the reason why we have covered the cookie handling in our last video is to show you how we can handle cookie. Alright, now moving forward, in here we need not to worry about this code. Let us get rid of this. Alright, now moving forward, let us initialize these two variables. Alright, so first of all we need to check whether the value is null or not. So the way is very simple. We will type in request dot get session dot get attribute, and we need to check whether the attribute is null or not. So in here the name of the attribute is username, right? And we need to compare this with null. Now friends, if this if condition is true, in that case we will simply redirect our request to login page. So let me cut this condition and paste this in here, and let us also get rid of these statement. Alright, now friends, let us add in the else part. Now friends, the else part would be interesting. Why? Because if we have the username in our attribute, in our session attribute, in that case definitely we will have the session ID as well. So in the else part we will initialize both of these variables. Alright, so the way is very simple. First of all, let us initialize username. So we will type in username equals request dot get session dot get attribute. The name of the attribute is username, as we already know, and now we need to convert this to string. So we will call in the toString method, and our work is done with our username variable. Now let us initialize session ID. Again we will type in request dot get session dot get ID. Alright, so this looks good to me. Alright, now moving forward, if we check this form, the form is getting submitted to member area with a parameter action as destroy. So in here, let me check in this member area controller. In here, this is the case where we are destroying the cookie. Now definitely we need not to worry about cookie now. Let us get rid of this, and invalidating the session is good enough. Now whenever we invalidate a session, a new session ID gets generated, and moreover any attribute which is associated with the session ID is also destroyed. So this invalidation of the session is good enough for logging out the user. Now finally, let us click on this login.jsp file and run this file on our web server. Alright, so here is our login page. Let us quickly try to log in. and password is love. Let us click on submit. Alright, so a new session got created, and let's try to log out the user. Alright, so even the logout mechanism is working properly. Let us try to run the member area file directly. Alright, the request got redirected to login page. Perfect. So our overall logic is working properly, and one of the issue where we were making use of cookie in place of session is fixed, and one step further we have reached. In our next video, we will organize our application furthermore. Alright, so this was it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.